Hi, my name is Dolly Runai. I have a book series started, and I have doing podcasts on the idea of metaphysics. What is metaphysics? What's it to you, and how can it help you in this life and beyond? Because metaphysics means beyond the physical. It means this goes beyond the physical world. It doesn't stop at death. That's the big difference. Now, metaphysics is the inner knowledge, the teachings behind every religion, and including Christianity. And we're told that we can't know what happens at death. It's a mystery, but that's just what your people in charge tell you for various reasons. We can know what happens at death. You can walk into any bookstore, any large bookstore or metaphysical bookstore, and find quite a number of books written by people who are beyond the grave. Not people who die and come back, but people who are beyond the grave or have died and wrote using a channeling through some person here. Now, there are these generally have a kind of a bad name because you can't prove anything, but there are some very credible books out. One of them came out back in the 1970s. Ruth Montgomery, A World Beyond. Arthur Ford telling her about what happened right after he died. Quite good. And because he died, and she suddenly found him coming up on her automatic typewriter. Hi, Ruth. This is Arthur. I'm here in the spirit world. Well, you're not supposed to. That's not supposed to be true. And the priests tell you just leave that to them. It's for them to figure out, not you. So that gives them a purpose. And I'm not saying they're bad guys or anything, but it does give them a purpose. They have an interest in that. Science pretends that they say they don't know. They don't have any idea what happens, and so they can't really help you. And but the idea that you just come out of nowhere and then you disappear is really that can't be true. You don't just do that. The fact is, we have relatives we don't know we have in the spirit world. And relatives like here. In fact, our family here is kind of a replica of a deeper family of relatives that we have between lives. Or in other incarnational lives, we've had narratives with. We've married other people. We've been mothers and fathers of people, and it seems eerie because you're not familiar with it. But once you become familiar, it's not eerie at all. It's a very good thing, very very welcome. It explains things why love at first sight, where you're meeting someone that you had a close love with in another lifetime or other lifetimes, or someone you don't like, same thing. So a lot of the questions are resolved when you really look into this whole thing of life and death. And what happens when you die is you cross what is it, they call it a physical death, but it's actually an illusion. You walk into another world, and it's called the etheric double in metaphysics, the etheric plane, and it's close to our Earth plane, but it's a little bit less dense, or somewhat less dense. So if you hit something, your hand might land on it, or it might go right through it, and there's lots of things like that, and this is where dreams are created in the etheric plane, and so this is where you go when you die, and then if you're not prepared, you're going to not know what to do. And what happens, and if you don't know it, it can be critical. What happens is, right now, your thoughts create your reality, but there's a long delay. You don't really even know it. But if you do know that your thoughts create reality, you can take control of your life. But when you die, you instantly, what you think will appear. It's like in a dream. And if you think you're being attacked by boogeymen, you'll fall into that, where you're being attacked by boogeymen, fighting them off until you come out of it, or some spirit helps you out of it. If you're aware that your thoughts create your reality, then you can quickly, and if you have made effort to still the mind, like Buddhists do, they do it for that exact reason. Hindus also. action and meditation. They understand that you meditate and you act, so that you don't just blindly do things. You control your life, and when you learn that, you become the creator of your future, which is what I think we all want. Now, what's happening to me, or with me, is I have come into contact with my incarnational selves. And I did that through Seth of Jane Roberts material. And the Seth material is the best metaphysical information I've ever read. And I've read a lot of it. And it's quite popular within certain groups. It was written in the 1970s and 80s. Jane passed on, but I'm in contact with her now. It's pretty transparent, and we can be in contact with anybody who hasn't physically incarnated, which is many people, but celebrities too. You could be in contact with celebrities who were famous in their day. So we can, and Seth gives a way to do this. You can contact your incarnational selves. The method he gives you in his first book, Seth Speaks, is you look at all the lights and everything surrounding you, like right now, and then you close your eyes, and then you imagine that the lights just all turn off on the stage. That was a stage. The lights have gone off. Now start searching through the darkness for your incarnational selves, and according to Seth, they can and they will contact you. Now, I was contacted in a different way. I actually was in contact with Seth already, and he told me to contact my first incarnational self, who happened to be Cleopatra of Egypt. And she immediately came to me, and when we were talking, and I could feel her presence. She had a softer feeling to her being a female than Seth. And Seth actually can be male or female. But in our world, we are what we are. We shouldn't try to short-circuit it through the science. Be happy with what you are today. And when you die, then you have the chance to switch to a different sex on your next incarnation. And this is not what happened with me exactly, because Cleopatra suggested that she told me this is the end of a 7-round incarnational period, which began with her, and I'm in the 7th, or we're in the 7th round now. And so she said that my 7 personalities will dissolve or resolve into me. And if we can do that, then we break the cycle of reincarnation. Otherwise, we have to start a new cycle because we haven't resolved our problems. And that kind of makes sense if you think about it, because our 7 incarnations are different people of different societies, ethnic groups, beliefs, all different kinds of people. So we have to, by resolving them, we resolve these problems. And sex is one. Not everybody changes sex, I understand, but many do and can. So, but the place to do that is in the etheric plane, which is easier to do there because it's more fluidic. And then you incarnate back, you kind of flip back into the physical, and you're drawn there by people you have strong feelings towards. Either you strongly love, or maybe the opposite. But your strong feelings bring you together, because they call that karmic ties. And so that brings you into the world, and you're actually not your physical parents. You know, when Jesus said, "Who are my mothers and my sisters?" He says, "They're the crowd." And he was actually right, because the crowd and his actual mother and sisters, brothers too, represent the incarnational personalities that he's dealt with, or he's worked with over the ages. So this is so what I'm doing is, Cleopatra gave me a second option where I could dissolve into her kind of turn backwards, or that she actually incarnates as a future self, using me as a placeholder, I guess. I don't fully understand it, but I know it's working. And and then she said, Dolly Madison, my 5th incarnation, she's going to dissolve into her, and so I dissolving into Dolly Madison as well, or through Cleopatra into her. So Dolly will become essentially me, and so that's why I changed my pen name from Arthur Telling to Dolly Ronai. My birth name is Ron, so Ronai, you can call me Ron. It doesn't really matter. And so I'm in the process of becoming Dolly Madison in the 21st century. And awareness, we're one awareness because we're the same self. Dolly, me, Cleopatra, and my other self. We're one awareness. But we split and go into different consciousnesses. This is called Gestalt, Awareness by Seth. And when we go into different consciousness, we can actually communicate with each other, even though we're the same awareness. But when we turn back as one, and it's very transparent. We don't even know the difference. So I have these 7 selves that are various states of resolving back, or me resolving into Dolly right now, and you don't even know they're there, except they're the ones. They're your guardian angels. They're the ones that drive your car home when you get too drunk at a party and don't know how you drove home. And you were driven home by probably one of your incarnational selves who are looking out for you. This is why we're never alone. This is God. God is an accumulation of all of them. So God is the one entity at the top. But God is also composed of all these selves. So God is always looking out for you in this sense. Trust in God, and you're trusting in these incarnational selves who won't die. They're spirits, and spirits are eternal. So I think this is all I had to say. Let me check here. Yeah, I think I did that pretty well because I did it all from memory because I didn't have the lighting to be able to even read my outline. So I have a book called Metaphysics 102. It's part of a series called, and it's also a podcast series called Metaphysics in You. And I have another book called The Incarnation, Cleopatra's Story of Jesus by Arthur Telling, my former pen name, and a number of other books that are designed to help you to understand Christianity, your place in the world, and what happens when you move on. Thank you.